Hello guys and welcome. In today's video we are going to look at the manufacturing part in your MikesBikes business simulation. After pricing your products and investing in advertising to increase your awareness, the next decisions will be the manufacturing decisions. By the end of this video, I believe you'll be able to know about the factory capacity, the efficiency and responsiveness to increase your demand, then and how to increase the quality of your product. And generally, your company is potentially operational for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and 50 weeks a year. The manufacturing responsive report, so let me show you what it is. So we have this just tell you the summary of your MikesBikes company and its operation. The important things to note in your manufacturing responsive report is the idle time. So this is your idle time. So with all factors remaining constant, we cannot produce more units than we did last year. So ensure that you have no idle time. Then we have the production efficiency. So let me just highlight it. So this is the production efficiency. Ensure that your production efficiency is greater than 80%. So let's go back to our manufacturing. Note that in our manufacturing, the key term here that we'll be using is the standard capacity units, and I'll be referring to it as the SCU. So when you just hear me saying the SCU, just know that this is the standard capacity units. And what is the SCU? The SCU, this is the total factory workforce and the total plant. So if you combine the total factory workforce and the total plant, you get the standard capacity units, and I'll be referring to it as the SCU. Note that again, if you want to increase your capacity in MikesBikes simulation, the thing here is you buy more factory capacity and more factory plant, and also you hire more staffs and reduce the wastage time. This will also again increase your capacity by hiring more staffs and reducing wastage time. And note that purchasing of factory plant will take a whole year before it becomes operational. So you should plan your factory decisions in advance. Don't wait until it is too late into the game so that you start planning about manufacturing. My advice is to ensure that with your strategy or the strategy that you'll use, ensure that you increase the number of units that you produce yearly. This is possible by hiring additional staff to increase your factory capacity, and also you increase your demand and the demand of your product. Then if you want to look at if you want to go into production or purchasing of the SCUs, the report that will guide you is the scenario information. So just go into the scenario and operations information. Here you see that the number of SCUs required to produce each product. We have the kids, they require 0.2 SCU per bike. We have the racers, 1.5 SCU per bike. Then commuters, 0.2 SCU per bike. The leisure is 0.2 SCU per bike. The adventure is 1.1 SCU per bike. Then you have the overall factory capacity will require both machines and factory floor workers in roughly equal SCU units. Then you have the factory hours per year is 2,000 year, the benchmark. So let's go back to our manufacturing. So here we have, we'll start with the capacity. So under the capacity, here we have the number of employees, because you see that we can either increase or reduce the number of workforce in each year or in each rollover. So you can also check on you see that if we go back to our responsiveness or scenario. So let me check. So then operations, you see that if you have this here, you see that factories workers can contribute a maximum of 625 SCUs of capacity each round. Then the average salary, so this is the salary, the average annual work wage for a worker is $25,000, and the administrative workers receive the double this amount. So that's why you are seeing that the benchmark administration staff salary is 50,000. So we go back to the manufacturing responsive report. So let me just go and check it here. Here you see that you can see the capacity allocation of our workforce or our capacity. So how is it's being allocated. Training, we have this one is 1.5%. Rework is 1.5%. Then the setup, this is the percent for setup. So the capacity allocated for setup was this one. Then breakdowns is so ensure that aim at reducing on in your game. Aim at just check on this capacity allocation, and your aim should be, or the strategy of your game should be to reduce the operating cost and improving the efficiency. So let's go back to our, so we have the, if you want to purchase the capacity, you can just input here value, because in the last year my capacity was 52,000 SCUs. Then so the next step is the process. So here we have the batch size amount, and you note that this is the average batch size that is used in a factory. So note that larger batch size will be proportionally reduce the number of setups, and hence increase the available capacity, because if I say I want to pack for each shipping container, I want to pack 2,000 bikes, you note that if I have 10 containers, the number of products that I'll put into the market will be more compared to if I have if the batch size is small. Or ideally, if I want to, let's say for every shift I want to work with this number of batches, you see that the more batches I have, the more units that I'll have to put out there. But if I have small batch, it means that this one will increase my complexity and will require more administration and production stuff. Because let's say I want to produce for each batch size I want to introduce 50 bikes, or 50, so my batch is 50 units. You see that for every 50 units, so for me to attain a certain number of products, it will require more time and more technicality. Also, note that too high batch size will result in excessive production lead times, and it will reduce their deliverance in performance. So we have the setup reduction time. This is the time your plant will take to gear up for the next batch of bikes to be produced. You can spend money on setup reduction so that you can reduce the setup time. So if you spend money here, you will reduce your setup time reduction. Then the next one is the supplier relation. So you see that your company can direct finances to improve on your supplier relation. This may include like you pay incentives to suppliers who provide quality products, or paying increased transport costs to enable frequent deliveries. Your aim or your strategy in this game should be at increasing the amount in the supplier relation, as this will reduce the time it takes for your inventory to arrive. Also, check on, so let's go to the operations. So while making decisions in this part, just go into the operations. So let me just take you where it is. So the operations report, and check on the supply expenditure. So you have the supply expenditure, and also we have the setup time here. So just come and look at your rating. So you can see that aim at increasing your rating, then you maintain it at a certain level. Also, you have here we have the setup time for each product. So we have it here. So let's go back to our manufacturing. So process, we have the raw materials inventory. So you see that in your MikesBikes company, you must decide on the average level of raw materials inventory that you want to hold. And note that the level is expressed in weeks, because increasing the raw materials inventory weeks will aim at protecting you from unreliable suppliers. As your suppliers, so if you look at the supplier index, so let's go to our operations report. Look at, you see this supplier relation index. So note that as your supplier relation index increases, your supply of raw materials improve, and you cannot afford to hold lower stocks of raw materials inventory. So the next step is after the process, so it's the quality. Note that in the quality, the decisions here will determine the quality of products being produced, and we want to increase the efficiency of your workforce. So here is done by, so the first part that you'll do is average salary, and I normally advise students that ensure that by each year or each rollover, you are increasing your average salary to employees by a certain amount. So me, I normally prefer by increasing it with 1,000. So average salary will affect your employee motivation and effectiveness, and again, I told you this will also affect your quality. Then you have your training. This is how much time each worker spends on training. So for me, I said I set up 20 hours. So you see, a thing or two about training is that it has two effects. The first effect, which is short term, is that while you are training your workers, you note that they'll be away from your company for a certain period of time. So you should be very ready to bear on the consequences of having those workers from your place. But the long-term effect, and which is on a positive note, is that it will increase the skill level of your workers and increase the quality of the products being produced. The next, we have the preventative maintenance. If you look at our marketing responsiveness, so let me just go into the key reports, then the responsiveness report, because you should be going back and forth with your manufacturing and the responsiveness report. Then again, we have the quality. So I don't know what it is, but let me just check it. The product. So, like with the preventative maintenance, ensure that you spend on preventative maintenance so that you can reduce the machine breakdown, and this one will increase your machinery productive time, because if you improve your production, the time your machines will take to produce a certain number of units, it means that also the number of bikes being produced will go high. The next, we have the, so let me go back to the quality. We have the quality systems technology, and the quality systems is you invest in systems which will monitor the quality of at each stage of the production. Like you install equipment at given points. Maybe let's say after every 30 units being produced, the equipment will inspect the 30th unit being produced. This is the most efficient means of increasing your quality index. So ensure that you put money in this quality systems technology, and the next one is the inspection. So this is the process of examining finished goods for defects. Although it's not that this although it is very good, is that it's a manual process and it's always costly. By it being a manual process, it makes inspection very costly. So increasing salary will attract qualified staffs, and it will increase motivation. Then workforce training will improve on factory capacity, and workers will be more effective. The thing to watch in your manufacturing page is that too much plant capacity will be a waste of resources, and also under capacity will result in you not being able to meet your customer demand, meaning you'll have too much lost sales, and this one will not be good in increasing your shareholder value. That's it for today, guys. Let's meet in our next video.